The second type of lens I could really recommend, and which you actually need when you're revving your motorcycle, great. Hi, my name is Axel. So if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering what lens to get next, or probably you're just looking to get a basic guide of the lenses you can get out there. So if you keep watching, I'm gonna go step by step, and you'll probably know by the end of this video what lens you want next. When you bought your camera, you probably have 1 or 2 kit lenses that come basically with every package you can get from any kind of brand. So the first lens you probably have is a 50mm lens. The second one is a zoom lens, probably around 18 to 100 millimeters of zoom range. So these two are perfect to get you started. The 50mm lens is perfect for portrait photography or just getting to know your camera. It's a very forgiving aperture. It's f1.8 in most. You can get these same kind of lenses with a 1.2 aperture, but those can get quite costly quite fast. So if you're just getting started, use the 2 lenses. So if you're just starting out with photography, you probably noticed there are 2 kinds of lenses, to start with. So you have the zoom lens and the prime lens. The prime lens is something you probably already know because you already have one, most likely. The lens I talked about, the 50mm lens at the start of the video, that's a prime lens. So that lens will get you no zoom at all. So the second type of lens you will definitely need is a zoom lens. So basically a zoom lens is the lens that gives you the flexibility you need in any situation. If you're on vacation or doing a shoot, wedding shoot, kid shoot, whatever, you will want one. Basically you need one. So let's say you're taking photographs at a wedding and you're just running about the people that are present. You need to have the flexibility to change your focal distance at any given time. Basically it's the same for when you're on vacation. Let's just say you have a lens from 18 to 120 maybe millimeters of focal distance. That would be perfect for your entire trip. Of course, doesn't matter what situation you're in, you need a zoom lens at any given time in your career or hobby or whatever. The next kind of lens I want to talk to you about is the fisheye lens. So most of you might have already heard of these kinds of lenses before because they were used a lot in the past, mostly around the 90s in ref videos, because they had an extreme field of view. Most of them had even a field of view of 180 degrees. So these type of lenses, what you need to know about them is very simple. It's a lens with a very big field of view which distorts everything you see in your picture, video, whatever. Now, you can debate on whether it's nice looking or not. I personally am not a fan of these, but I think it's fun to experiment with. Now, we just talked about the fisheye lens, and the next lens I want to talk to you about is the wide-angle lens. So basically it's pretty simple. It's the same as a fisheye lens. The only difference is that with a wide-angle lens you can actually use it to shoot photos or videos with some kind of natural look and feel to them. So most people will use these as landscape photography, architecture, perhaps even vlogging for videos. There's all kinds of different applications for these ones. So if you have a 50mm lens and you have a decent zoom lens, I think, in my opinion, that the next investment you need to do is a wide-angle lens. It's basically a no-brainer. If you're getting started with wide-angle lenses, there are a few things you need to know. So if you're using these type of lenses for landscape photography, you won't have many problems with distortion or anything else, because most of the objects are at a decent distance or farther away in the background, so they can't really give you any distortion. However, if you're shooting or if you're using this type of lens when shooting interior, architecture, or those kinds of things with lines that can distort from a close by distance, then you need to know that your camera needs to be level with the ground. If you do this, then most lines will not distort. If you do it, you know, if you tilt the camera too much to the top or to the ground, you know, to the sky or to the ground, then you will see some distortion. Now, of course, you can fix this in post, you know, with Lightroom and other kinds of programs like Luminar, but to keep you away from work you don't need to do, keep your camera level. If you're looking for a wide-angle lens that gives you control of, you know, the distortion that keeps popping up in your pictures, you can get a tilt-shift lens. So basically, the tilt-shift lens, what will it do? You can change a couple of settings on the lens that gives you control of the distortion you have in your pictures. So let's say you're into architecture, you're taking photos of a beautiful building, however it's distorted a bit, you know, as on the sides of the building, for example, then you can get a tilt-shift lens and you can correct the lines in your photo so you don't have any or minimal distortion. Now, do know that you should only get this type of lens when you're really into architecture or interior photography. Honestly, I wouldn't buy one, and I think it's a waste of money. If you look at the difference between a tilt-shift lens and a wide-angle lens, well, you can buy other things with it, things you can better use. Another lens I want to talk to you about is the telephoto lens. Now, a telephoto lens is a lens that has a really nice and far focal length. So if you're into wildlife photography, you need to get one. However, there's one thing you need to know when you get one of these lenses, or if you want to get one of these lenses, is you'll need a loan. These lenses are very costly. One lens I saw recently even went up to about, I think, 13 to 40,000 euros. So if you put that in dollars, that's probably around 15,000 or 15k, or however Americans say that. Now, however, if you're a professional photographer of, you know, wildlife or animals or whatever, then save up, get one of these, and I'll guarantee you these type of lenses will earn you your money back. Now, the last most common lens I want to talk to you about is a macro lens. So you've probably seen these pictures go around on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouTube doesn't have pictures, they have videos, but anyway. So these kind of lenses give you the possibility to take pictures of really small things or give you really detailed shots. So think about those bugs you've seen passing on Instagram, or perhaps even flowers really close up by. That's shot with a macro lens. Now, if I'm not mistaken, before you buy a macro lens, there's probably the possibility to buy intersecting rings for your lens and camera. So that's probably a bit less expensive than a regular macro lens. Now, these type of lenses can be quite costly, of course. These lenses can cost up to 300, 400, maybe 500 euros each. And I think the intersecting rings are a bit cheaper. I think 160 euros. Now, by now you must have realized that there are many types of lenses for any kind of situation. If I'm honest, the first lens I got is a 50mm lens, then a zoom lens. I actually got those two together, which is probably the smartest thing you can do. Then the wide angle lens, and I think if you have those three lenses together, that you can do basically anything. Now, there are many kinds of different situations where you need a different lens, you know, like the tilt shift, or perhaps even the photo lens for wildlife photography. But if you get started with those three lenses I've mentioned before, I think you'll be golden. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.